The revolution will be televised. What's up, everyone? It's Groovinator from RaidersOfTheLostFlicks.com, and I know this actually absolutely had no notice whatsoever. This is something I decided to do. I've been grossly absent this week. I apologize for that. So as I wait for some people to go in, I guess I'll get through the boring housekeeping notes, and then some people that go and decide to watch this later can catch up with what's going on. But yes, if you're new to my channel, I am the owner and operator of RaidersOfTheLostFlicks.com, a website dedicated to famously bad movies, which is what we like to talk about the most on my channel. But I also do pop culture news and a lot of movie stuff, which is one of my main passions. I am addicted to movies. I quote movies. I love to talk about movies. I have a lot of liquids. Also, this is the first time I'm doing a live stream all by my damn self, so we're going to see how this pans out. The open invitation for a co-host is still open. I'm still looking for a permanent co-host, permanent position on this channel, somebody that I can have some chemistry with, and I have people that I would like to do. All the people that have been on my channel, I would love for them to be my co-host, but they all have their own things. They belong to other shows. They do other live streams. Some of them, like Pete, he's a madman. He streams like 6 days a week. It's insanity. All right, I don't know how he does it. I don't even know. I mean, I probably have as much probably more free time than he does. I just don't know where he gets that energy. The guy drinks like 3 pots of coffee for breakfast and then does all these streams. But yeah, all those people would be perfect co-hosts, but they all have their own thing. They're people I know from elsewhere. So still looking for that. I also started a show on my channel where I was going to do 31 days of horror. And I realized that at this point, I'm already like 5 days behind my 31 days of horror. And plus, the first 31 days of horror was something I thought of literally at the last minute. Hurried up and recorded it, wanted to get it up so that I could be in time. So, you know, October 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. And then I realized that nobody was really watching that video. So message received. I don't think I'm going to be able to commit to that. Maybe I'll try that again next year and maybe put a little bit more effort into it, prepare for it in advance more often. Maybe I'll just write some articles instead and do it that way. But I don't think I'm going to go ahead with that one because I just don't think anybody's really interested in it. So if you are interested in the 31 days of horror, let me know. Leave a comment in the chat or leave a comment after this is uploaded. And you know, maybe I'll reduce the 31 days thing and maybe just do like a top 20. But that was just, you know, something where I thought, well, I've got all these cool horror movies in my selection, and then it's October, so I should be watching horror movies because that's just kind of what you do, right? I'm a big Halloween guy, so I thought, why not do a show and just read stuff from, you know, talk about some movies from my collection, not necessarily my top 10 favorite, even my top 20 favorite, but do that. But anyways, I don't think I'm going to go forward with it. I don't think there's an audience there for it, so. Where the hell have I been this week? Well, my sister's been visiting from out of town, from Illinois, and she's been staying with us. And there's some things that we needed to do around the house here while she was visiting. She volunteered her services. One of those things was cleaning out my dad's garage, because if we don't do it, he doesn't do it at all. And then if I do it, it becomes an argument, you know? So we decided to do that. And you know, he's a bit of a pack rat, and he's an older guy, and he gets really grouchy when we move his stuff around. So that was a job that took about 3 days, and also it's been unconditionally hot for this time of year, even for Florida. We've been having a heat wave. Usually this time of year it's cooler, which was why we planned to do this project. And all 3 days I was out there, it was at least 115 degrees out there. I mean... So after spending an entire day in a 115-degree garage, I come back in, you take your shower, you have your dinner, and it's like, I need to make a video. Oh, yeah. So that's what happened. That's why content output was low last week, and I apologize for that. I tried to get a couple of videos up. I still did my Fan Caste show on Friday. That was a lot of fun. We had Fatal J on there. We had a lot of fun talking about Star Wars and Joker and stuff. So that was a good time. But yeah, I am definitely trying to bring some kind of normal scheduled show to this channel. It's difficult because I don't know if I have an audience for it yet, if my audience is big enough. I mean, right now I'm 5 minutes into this show and I don't have an audience yet, but I mean, I didn't schedule this. I didn't really put any word out there that I was going to do this. So that's kind of my fault too. But as this channel gets bigger, I realize that I need to live stream more often. And right now I can't commit to any one thing. I know this is definitely the title I wanted to do. Originally, Grindhouse-A-Go-Go was going to be like a Siskel and Ebert type show with me and my editor-in-chief, but he just doesn't have the time to commit to a regular show. His job demands a lot of him, and it's been impossible to work around that schedule. So it's not that we're not getting along. It's just that I can't move forward trying to work around that. You know, you can't make a scheduled show and say, I'm going to average, you know, I'm going to go live this day, and this day, and then he can't make it. And then I just have to go. So the name of this show may change based on my co-host. You know, like I said, I am trying to work on it. Maybe I'll find a better day to stream. Just today, it's raining outside. I don't have anything better to do, so I'm streaming now, and I'm trying to see if I can carry a show all by my damn self. So this is mostly experimental, but this is the regular show that I'm trying to move forward with. The Siskel and Ebert type thing is morphing into a variety show. So anyways, I think that's enough for the boring housekeeping notes now, since nobody's watching. The first thing I would like to do, I almost forgot about this, and that's the other thing. I'm doing a show right now because I've gotten so behind in the last week with pop culture topics that if I was to sit here today and make videos, I would be recording all day and then editing videos all day. And then by the time I upload, it would already be Monday. So I'm just going to do this show and see how it goes. All right. I'm going to talk about all these topics. I might download this and maybe break these into different videos later. I don't know. I'm not going to commit to that, but let's see how it goes. So enough of the boring housekeeping notes. Let's move on to this. All right. They released a Terminator Dark Fate trailer. Now, I've been very vocal about Terminator on my channel. I'm a huge fan of the first two movies. My name, Groovinator, comes from Terminator. It also comes from Groovy by Ash. Yeah, Ash from The Evil Dead 2, not by Austin Powers. A lot of people think that Groovy comes from Austin Powers. No, Groovy comes from when Bruce Campbell said, put the chainsaw on his hand, he said, Groovy. That's where that came from. It came from a long weekend of drunken foolishness, watching movies, getting blotto drunk, and watching Star Wars and the Evil Dead trilogy. And originally I was called Darth Groovy, and then somebody stole the name Darth Groovy from me, and so I changed it to Groovinator. So yeah, amalgamation, Terminator, Groovy. Yeah, that's where that comes from. And now you know. And if you're watching that, there'll be a quiz on this later. No, I'm just kidding. But anyways, let's watch this trailer. This franchise I'm not a big fan of. I just like those first two movies a lot. They had a really big impression on me when I was a little kid. And I don't like the direction that this franchise is going in. So I said that I would watch this movie for my channel, just for review purposes and just to have something to write about. So I'm committed for that, but I'm not actually looking forward to it because a lot of the marketing for this is just, it's shit. It's using politics, and I'm okay if you want to make a political movie, but what makes me mad is when you take something where it was not designed for social justice type politics and you inject social justice politics into it, where you basically hijack a platform and use that to preach to people. Makes me angry. And a lot of the marketing that I've gotten from Terminator Dark Fate reflects that. So not cool. You know what I mean? So anyways, I don't know if you'll be able to hear this or not, because I know StreamYard isn't really good for sound, but that's probably a good thing because that way, hopefully I won't get demonetized for watching this. So let me get the screen share going here. Terminator Dark Fate. All right, there we go. And let me maximize this. All right. And let's see what it looks like, shall we? Establishing shot. Kino check. Yeah, Kino check is definitely going to demonetize me. Who is this lady? Okay, there's the T1 1-800. Okay, there's these special effects just don't look good. I don't understand. Is it just because we become desensitized to them? See, a lot of this just feels like retread. I hate to not be excited about this. I want to be, but I'm just not. Boom! You don't say. Woo! Wow, that's a little scary. That was a little intense. That scene looks like it could be kind of cool, but it could be preachy too. Well, at least they're using the Terminator music for a change. They should have done that a long time ago. So Arnold Schwarzenegger isn't a machine? Oh no. Okay, that was a slightly better trailer. That's probably better than some of the ones that I've seen so far. Hey, I don't like the noise. Okay. Yeah, what do I think about that? It's a better trailer. It gives me a little bit more to look forward to on opening night. I still think that there's a lot of this samey with this franchise. It just a lot of it feels like excuses to get more robots back into the franchise, which is unfortunate, but that is how they roll. So, but yeah, that is probably the better of all of the trailers that I've seen so far. So that's really all I can say about it. I don't know. Should I be excited about it? Are any of you excited about it? Unfortunately, nobody's in the comments yet, so we're just going to move on to the next category, I believe. Do I? I don't know. It just feels like Terminator. Yeah. For all those involved, I feel like they're ready to preach to people. And that's where I have a problem, because that's not really what that was designed for. Science fiction is supposed to be cautionary tales. Yes, of course. Usually warning you that the outcomes of things will be bad if things are not changed. And we've already done that with the first two movies. So anything else is just going to feel like not necessary. You know what I mean? So that's all I got to say about that. Better trailer. At least we're trying to be like a Terminator movie and not whatever the hell the last two were. So let's move on to the next topic. James Bond. All right. And I just call it James Bond 25 because I swear to God, for the life of me, cannot remember the name of this movie ever. So I don't usually do poster reaction videos. So, but we're going to take a look at this. Yeah, we're not going to watch that video. This is off of CNN. So the wait is almost over for the latest James Bond movie, with a new film poster released on Sunday. We live in an era where we make events based on posters being put up online. I remember when we went through this with Hellboy, and I was like, yeah, okay, it's a cool poster. Yeah, 5 out of 5. Doesn't mean it's going to be a good movie, all right? You can't judge a movie by its poster, but we'll do it anyway because I like talking about James Bond right now. So the wait is almost over for the latest James Bond movie, with a new film poster released on Saturday. The picture, unveiled on social media to celebrate Global James Bond Day, shows current 007 Daniel Craig looking moody and focused in a tuxedo, framed against a blue wall. Whatever he's gazing intently at is sure to be revealed in the film, due for release in April 2020. It's kind of looking kind of haggard, actually. The movie was originally scheduled for cinema release on April 3rd, 2020 in the UK and April 8th in the US. It has been brought forward a day to April 2 by producers. And what was the reason for that? I don't know. No Time to Die. That is the worst font I have ever seen on a poster. This is really bad. This is an actual poster. Ew. Like, they didn't even put any kind of shadow or tint or... No Time to Die. I could have whipped this up in Photoshop in 3 minutes. I'm not even kidding. I had 1 semester of graphic design at junior college. That's the extent of my design knowledge. 1 semester of graphic arts. Anyway, Ralph Fiennes, Rami Malek, Rory Kinner, Ben Whishaw. It wouldn't be a show, guys, if I didn't butcher a name, right? So Ben Whishaw, Naomi Harris, Lee Sado, and Jeffrey Wright all star in the film, which Carrie Fukunaga, I am so sorry. Somebody tell me in the comments how that's pronounced, is directing. The latest in the Bond series is hotly anticipated, as it is Craig's last outing as the on-screen spy. The project has been dogged by misfortune, with a crew member sustaining injuries following a mission explosion on the UK set, and Craig injuring his ankle while filming in May. Writer Phoebe Waller-Bridge, was brought to amend the finished script at the behest of Craig himself, as he felt it was dry and need of polishing. Yeah, polishing. Anyways, wow. The movie, which finished shooting recently in Italy, was shot mostly in London and Jamaica, as well as in Norway and Italy. Bond's return to Jamaica sees the spy back on familiar ground, as the first Bond film, 1962's Dr. No and 1973's Live and Let Die, were filmed there. Almost nothing has been revealed about the movie's plot. Producer Barbara Broccoli has said Bond will not be on active service as the star of the script and will be enjoying himself in Jamaica rather than on a mission. Boring. There has been intense speculation about who will take over the 51-year-old in the titular role. Idris Elba, Richard Madden, and Tom Hiddleston have all been publicly tipped for the role. Cillian Murphy was also on the list, but suggested a woman would take up the mantle. And I think a lot of that was just bad publicity. I don't think they're really going to go with that, because at what point do you go forward with James Bond where you cease to become James Bond? If you become Jane Bond, then you're something completely different. I would be okay if they wanted to have 2 different 007 franchises running at the same time. That way, if people want to see a female James Bond, they can go that road. And if people want to see James Bond for what it originally was intended for, we can go that road. I'm okay with choices. What I don't like is when you take a property that's been around as long as this one has, played by so many people, written by so many people, and had so many people involved over years and years and years, just be completely dismantled and turned into something that it's not, okay? You already have the girl with the dragon tattoo. You don't need a James Bond version of the same thing. You know what I'm saying? All right. Is that a little too on the nose? I don't know. We've talked about that ad nauseum on past streams, but not crazy about this poster. And honestly, I've never really been that huge of a fan of Daniel Craig's run. I started to warm up to him a little bit in Skyfall, but I realized a lot of what I like about Skyfall is just that it was a better movie and that Skyfall had a decent villain. So at this point, I've got like 3 different kinds of liquid here to keep going, because I'm not used to just talking constantly without somebody interrupting me or somebody putting their 2 cents in. So a swig of Gatorade Zero for the working man here. Oh, it's delicious. I've got Gatorade, lemonade, and ice water. I plan to do a lot of talking here because, like I said, I'm basically recording 6 videos worth of material here. So, anyways, what do you guys think of James Bond? Do I have any watchers yet? Nope, nobody watching. That's kind of sad. Doing the show all by myself. So Sunday's probably not a good day to do this, huh? Maybe I shouldn't do this on Sunday. That's okay. I'm moving on. I'm going to make the best of what I got here. This is the time, unfortunately, that I have to do this. So, but yeah, that's my reaction to James Bond. You know, poster reactions. You can't judge a movie by its posters, so I think most poster reactions are bullshit in general. And not a fan of that font at all. It's hideous. It looks like one of those fonts that you just scroll through when you're making something, you know? So yeah, not feeling that at all. So Daniel Craig, as far as I'm concerned, he can exit this franchise and don't let the door hit you in the ass. Why'd you have to bring in Phoebe Waller-Bridge? I mean, she better not ruin it. But then again, it could already be ruined. So what do I know? I see I have somebody watching. Hey, if you're here, sound off in the chat. Say hello and let me say hello back. And thanks for watching me. Whoever you are. I can't tell yet. What do you think about James Bond? Are you a fan? Do you not care? Should we move on to the next topic? Not so much. All right. So let's move on to the next topic then. So that's enough for the poster reaction. This one is probably unintentionally funny, but it is a thing. There we go. Disney developing another live-action Inspector Gadget movie. So who is excited about this? Show of hands in the chat. Who is excited about Disney doing another Inspector Gadget? I've saw the first one, and I've been trying to forget it ever since. Fan of Matthew Broderick. I used to watch the original Inspector Gadget cartoon, but live action cartoons are not really my jam. But I don't know. Let's read this ridiculous filth, shall we? This is from Deadline. All right. It says here, Disney has set in motion new Inspector Gadget live-action film, which is being produced by Dan Lin and Jonathan Eric, the producers of the live-action Aladdin, released earlier this year. God, am I sick of hearing about that movie, Aladdin. I don't ever want to watch Aladdin. I didn't want Aladdin to happen. Anyways, Mikey Day and Streeter Seidel have been tapped to adapt the script based on the famous dense cyborg police inspector who was first introduced to audiences in the 1980s animated series. Matthew Broderick played the character in the 1999 David Kellogg directed live action adaptation, which was met with negative reviews and performed moderately at the box office with a take of almost 135 million worldwide. A direct-to-DVD sequel followed in 2003. So why are we pursuing this? Anyways, let's get through the article. This project adds to Disney's growing slate of forthcoming live-action versions of animated films, including Lady and the Tramp, Mulan, Cruella, Little Mermaid, and Lilo and Stitch. THR was first to break Inspector Gadget news. This just shows to me the continued disconnect of people in Disney, especially Disney, the sheer laziness of not wanting to come up with a single original idea whatsoever. It's so by committee. It's sitting on a table looking at properties that we own. What can we develop? What can we hurry up and whip out in the shortest amount of time? Produce, record, film, shoot, market, and get out into the theater the fastest. That is just Disney's approach to everything now. It's so frustrating. They put that same formula to Star Wars, and they've literally created a generation of fans that are anti-fans now. You know what I mean? Like they created the fandom menace. They created their own counterculture just by being lazy writers. Lazy writing it's something that just it drives me crazy. It's like, why don't you, okay, some of those to be fair, some of those titles that they mention, like Lady and the Tramp, Mulan, Cruella, Little Mermaid, Lilo Stitch, at least these have not been developed into live action movies yet. Inspector Gadget has already been done twice and not successful in either case scenario. So again, why are we doing this? This is an example of literally no one asking for this. Literally no one. And then Disney saying, oh, hey, by the way, we're doing another Inspector Gadget movie. Thank you so much. Can't wait for that. And you wonder why you're hemorrhaging money. You wonder why. Really? I mean, oh my God. Yeah, what do you guys think? Leave a comment down below about Inspector Gadget. Can't wait to hear the feedback on this one. Yeah, I can't wrap my head around some of these decisions. Just the amount of disconnect. It's staggering. It's sad. It's depressing. It really is. So enough of that. Unless you've been living in a cave. I need to change my banner here. Unless you've been living in a cage. This is the talk of the weekend, all right? Joker, and more Joker news. And not all of it is good. But I do hear, and I don't have the exact weekend totals, so I'm not going to show those at this point. I'll maybe do a separate video when I get some final results, and then we'll talk about that. Me personally, I want this movie to do good because it's a counterculture movie. It's definitely making a lot of social justice types really upset, and they asked for that because they've been taking things that people, I don't want to say normal people, because I don't know what normal is anymore. I don't really consider myself normal. That's not the term that I want to use. I think the term I want to use is non-politically motivated types, not woke people. Okay, the unwoke. Is that even a word? Unwoke? You owe me $1 every time you use the word unwoke. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, not woke people taking things that have been around for years and using those as platforms to preach to people. And Joker seems to be, at least from what I'm hearing in reviews and people that I know that have seen it, to be a movie that is against that sort of culture, or maybe put in place as a result of that culture, which makes it a counterculture movie. And I had predicted this before, that, you know, movies like Die Hard and Rambo and First Blood, Rambo, Mad Max, movies like that, Dirty Harry came out in that time's counterculture as a result of a lot of things being used to preach about the war in Vietnam. You know, a lot of people got tired of just hearing about that over and over and over again. Everything became a protest piece. It seeped into music. It seeped into art, movies, entertainment. Everything was about the war, and nothing was fun anymore. And those movies came out as a result of it. People just wanted escapism. And the Joker is the first sign of escapism. Oh, delicious. But anyways, I have all kinds of different articles that I want to go through, things that have been addressed. Each one of these articles could be a video all by itself, but I'm going to do, like I said, this is my live show, folks. So let's see where we go with this. The first one would be, which one do I want to do first? Yeah, let's go with this one, because this is the one that I don't feel like I've covered enough. Ads galore, man. Give it a break. Joker opens to heavy police presence at movie theaters. It's the times that we live in. Now, I wanted to see Joker on opening day, but that was going on right during the garage cleaning process, and one of those days we didn't even finish until almost 7 or 8 o'clock at night. So there was no way in hell I was going to make it on opening weekend. So I can't speak for police presence in the because both the theaters that I go to are in Tampa. So, well, no, one's in Wesley Chapel. So I didn't go to Tampa or Wesley Chapel, so I can't speak for those theaters. So I don't really know what's going on here locally. But this is from California, and I've heard some people. I know LMP's out in New York, and he said that that's happening out by him as well. So he went to go see it on Friday night instead of being on the show, and he said there was cops out front of that too. So this is not just California. I can't speak for Tampa. I'm not really sure, but I do intend to see the movie probably this week or next. I have a lot going on, unfortunately. So anyways, Joker opens to heavy police presence at movie theaters. It's the times we live in. And this is from the LA Times by Hannah Fry. Huntington Beach resident Nick Blackner went to see Joker at the Century Huntington Beach, and only to find tons and tons of cops at the complex because of a threat of violence. Blackner said managers outside the theater told him he could get a refund for his ticket and return Friday to see the movie. It's the times we live in, I guess, Blackner said. He and other moviegoers trickling in for matinees Friday at the Century Huntington Beach and XD movie theater in the Bella Terra shopping center would have had a hard time missing the two marked police cruisers parked outside the shops that line the walkway to the multiplex. Two uniformed officers were also stationed outside the cinema ticketing area and entrance. This was the scene across the country as police beefed up security amid worries of possible violence over the movie. The Los Angeles Police Department said it was increasing patrols during the opening weekend. The Los Angeles Police Department is aware of public concerns and the historical significance associated with the premiere of Joker. The LAPD said in a statement, while there is no credible threats in the Los Angeles area, the department will maintain high visibility around theaters when it opens. Joker, starring Joaquin Phoenix and directed by Todd Phillips, has sparked controversy over its violent portrayal of the man who would become known as one of Batman's most twisted nemesis. It also stirred fears of possible violence at theaters where it is screening. Showing off the film resumed Friday at Century Huntington Beach, though authorities say they will maintain the presence around the theater throughout the weekend. We took the threat seriously and we're investigating, said Officer Angela Bennett, spokesperson for the Huntington Beach Police Department. Police did not describe the nature of the threat or how it was reported. Officers were sent to the theater at 7777 Edgener Avenue about 5 p.m. Thursday. The cinema stopped showing all films scheduled to run after 4:45 p.m., according to a schedule posted on its website. Swig of something. Oh. Moviegoers Louis Cervantes of Fountain Valley said he was planning to see Joker at the theater late Thursday and was disappointed when he arrived to find it closed. I was excited to see it, so I'm kind of bummed out right now, Cervantes told a reporter outside the theater. 7 years ago, a gunman killed 12 people at a movie theater in Aurora, Colorado, during a screening of the 2012 Batman film, The Dark Knight Rises. I didn't know that was going on during The Dark Knight Rises. It must have been when I was working, so I just didn't have time to pay attention to that controversy. I don't remember that movie being that controversial, though, especially after The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight Rises with Bane? Okay, I guess. The families of the victims of the Aurora shooting issued a letter last week to Warner Brothers, the studio behind the news film, expressing concern over the movie's violence while requesting that the studio help fund gun violence intervention programs, lobby for gun reform, and end contributions to political candidates who accept contributions from the National Rifle Association. Now, before I get any farther, I don't want to discount that what happened here at Aurora, Colorado wasn't a terrible thing, but that has been mentioned several times that you can't blame what happened there on this movie. All right. The movie was not the culprit. The movie was not the what happened was the very unstable person that went into that theater and killed those 12 people. I don't think the movie even had that much impact on the person. If the information that I received about that tells me that it had nothing to do with the movie. And I think that that's been addressed many times, but sometimes these articles forget that those things ever happened, and it's unfortunate. The families of the... Okay, I already read that. So we want to use this to make gun reform. When we learned that Warner Brothers was releasing a movie called Joker that presents the character as a protagonist with a sympathetic origin story, it gave us pause. The letter said, "We want to be clear that we support your right to free speech and free expression. But as anybody who has ever seen a comic book can tell you, with great power comes great responsibility." And I hate how they hijack that Spider-Man line like that. That's why we're calling on you to use your massive platform and influence to join us in our fight to build safer communities with fewer guns. It seems to me that if you're trying to be serious and get somebody to pay attention, that you wouldn't be quoting Spider-Man. It just feels like a cheap shot to me, but I don't know. It may be kind of tasteless. The Warner Brothers tried to assuage fears leading to the film's release. The Los Angeles Police Department last week promised to increase its visibility around theaters showing the movie on opening weekend. The announcement came after the FBI and the Army issued internal warnings about possible threats related to the movie. One of the warnings from the Army Criminal Investigation Command Field Office at Fort Sill, Oklahoma, which went public after a memo circulated online flagged as, quote, credible potential mass shooting, unquote, at an unknown movie theater during Joker's release. While our standard practice is to not comment on specific intelligence products, the FBI is in touch with our law enforcement and private sector partners about the online posts. As always, we encourage the public to remain vigilant and to promptly report suspicious activity to law enforcement, the FBI said. Whew. Yeah, that's the only thing that I had that was similar to this is, and you guys probably, most of you watching won't remember this, but there was a time. Oh, I have some comments. Hey, Alita's Army. Hail, Alita's Army. Thanks for joining us in the chat. I'm about to get into that part, the Alita. I want to get through this Joker stuff first because it's the topic of the weekend. But yeah, I do have some Alita information that we'll be getting into after this. But what I wanted to mention was, I'll go ahead and highlight that. If you guys don't remember, you remember Ice-T from Law and Order Special Victims Unit. I know you've at least seen him. He's the guy that plays Finn. Okay. Used to be a famous rapper, and that famous rapper also had a hardcore metal band called Body Count. And Body Count had a song called Cop Killer. And for whatever reason, police around the world were just in uproar over that song's lyrics and content. And I was working for a college paper, community college paper at the time. I was the arts and entertainment editor, and me and a photographer went to that concert on a press pass. So I got to go to a free concert to see Body Count, Propane, Exodus, DRI. And of course I went to a lot of concerts at the time anyway. So that was just totally awesome. Like, oh my God, dude, I'm going to a concert for free. I went to a lot of metal concerts, a lot of industrial concerts and punk and stuff like that when I was, around that age. I was like still in my teens, like late teens. But I remember going to the show, and I did get to interview Ice-T, and there were cops in Chicago picketing outside the Vic Theater at the time. It was like 1992. My mom was furious with me. She didn't want me to go. And I'm like, well, Mom, I'm going to be a reporter. This is the job that I'm studying for. It will sometimes require me to be in a situation that you may not want me to be in. And she couldn't argue with that. She wasn't happy about it, but I was going with somebody else. She felt a little bit better about that. And there was no violence. The only violence that happened at the entire show is at one point, some guy that was really coked out or on something or drunk or something stage dived, and some people forgot to catch him and he hit his head. But other than just actual moshing, that was about as violent as that concert got. But yeah, there were police in full uniform. They're out front and they're picketing and whatever. And I was just I was like, I had a good time. It was just a rock concert inside. So it kind of showed me the disconnect between media and the actual artists, and if anything that taught me is that the picketing outside probably drew more people into that concert than there would have if it would have just been a regular concert, and that's kind of how I feel about this kind of stuff here. I hear that this movie's doing really well at the box office. So, is this the actual marketing? Is this controversy by design? That's something you might want to think, because I don't want to get all tinfoil hat here, but I mean that is something that could possibly happen. Maybe this was designed to get people to go to the show, but I think it's interesting that this movie performs so well it can, and then critics are giving this a low score, but they're grading the movie based on their political allegiances rather than the movie itself, which is, you know, the problem with Hollywood in general right now. It's so woke. It's in this own bubble. Hollywood reminds me of that city from Logan's Run. If you've ever seen that old 70s movie, you know, these people, they literally are raised in a bubble, and they all sentence themselves to die after they hit like age 30 or 31 or something like that. They don't live over the age of 30. They renew. They've got these crystals in their hands, and they think that they're going to reincarnate into another body, which is just a big fallacy. But yeah, it's a movie you should probably check out. Maybe I should do a review of Logan's Run at some point, because there's some pretty on the nose things that are, you know, sci-fi movies are cautionary tales of things that are going on that will eventually happen. It's just a matter of when, you know. So, but yeah, it's sad that this is going on right now, and I don't know. So that brings me to my next share. There we go. This is Cineblend, and I actually like this website quite a bit. They not so much the writing, just the way it's laid out, and it doesn't strike me as being too political one way or the other, which is kind of what I look for with these things. So these fake Joker signs at movie theaters are getting out of hand. Pity the poor movie theater employees who have to put up with the Joker fans over opening weekend. The fans may not be dangerous, but a few are having a little too much fun with the controversies, quote, controversies out there, posting fake signs that real movie theater patrons and employees have to respond to. Oh, I'm not used to talking to this much by myself. Some of the signs are obviously jokes, especially if you read the fine print. But since Joker has been called out for fears of inciting violence, particularly from many guys who might have relate to Joaquin Phoenix's rejected character, with the real-life Aurora shootings at the Dark Knight Rises screening often cited, some patrons did seem to think, at least at first, that the signs are real warnings. Here's a joke sign that some fans thought was legit, and AMC felt compelled to reply to. I might know, because of the good old Twitter here. Let's see, can I zoom this? Yeah. Shared by a friend on Facebook. This is a little too far. It is a film, for fuck's sakes. All right. Please note, we are enforcing a strict no singles policy for tonight's showing of Joker. Due to safety precautions, we will not be admitting anyone without an additional partner. AMC amazing. Oh, dear God. Yeah, I want to close that. So this is a real AMC theaters. This is incredibly small-minded and frankly insulting, offensive to many people who enjoy going to the cinema alone or have nobody to go with. That's usually me. I usually go by myself. I don't have any local friends here that go with me. If the people I knew in the Fan Caste lived a little closer to me, I'd probably be rolling with those guys every weekend. But you know, we're spread out all over the world, man. So what are you gonna do, right? To the many who enjoy going to the cinema alone or have nobody to go with, it's also in its own way discrimination. Gross. So sorry about any confusion. This sign was not posted by us, and this is not our policy. The sign was removed as soon as it was found by the theater team, meaning somebody was on Twitter and probably saw it and said, "Oh shit, I gotta take this down." And this, okay, here's another one. For the safety and comfort of all our guests, single males, any kind, subject to inspection prior to the entry of this facility, thank you for your cooperation. Oh, God. A couple of comedians also made some NCFW posters for alt-right. And joking the guys who basically look like incels won't be allowed into the theater. Incels. Incels. Show of hands. Anybody that's been called an incel in the last year or two. I want to see show of hands for all you incels out there. Yeah, they always talk with a lisp. And you're an incel. We are enforcing a strict no guys who look like they never had sex policy for tonight's showings of Joker. I can't read the small print here. It's so small. Maybe this is a little bit bigger. Was not authorized or Joker was not authorized by ArcLight. It does not reflect our operational policies and has since been removed. We do not require weird ball inspections. And all customers are allowed to see the movie regardless of their level of rape unloading experiences. Good God. Man, this is so like stupid. I don't enjoy the controversy, but you know, sometimes you have to admire a little bit of viral marketing. And like I said, I don't know how much of this is by design. I don't know how much of this was unscripted, but I'd like to move into my next point here, and we'll stop that and get on to my next topic, which is this has been talked about a lot. Oh no. Please load. There we go. All right. So Martin Scorsese, all right. A guy that I really admire, love a lot of his movies. He just recently picked up The Wolf of Wall Street. Kind of looking for some time to watch that pretty soon. But Martin Scorsese doesn't think Marvel movies are cinema. Let's read the article, and then I'll give you my 2 cents. Okay. Martin Scorsese says that although he's tried to watch them, he doesn't think Marvel movies are cinema. With over half a century of filmmaking to his credit, Scorsese has undeniably taken his place as one of the greatest directors in the history of cinema. A cinephile in the truest sense, Scorsese has loved movies his entire life, and the influence of the vast cinematic experiences he's collected over the years is deeply felt in the work he produces. At age 76, Scorsese is set to release his latest film next month, the highly anticipated The Irishman. I'm really wanting to see The Irishman big time. I've been here ever since I've been hearing about it, which brings together such legendary acting greats as Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, longtime Scorsese collaborator Joe Pesci. Oh God, I can't wait! I'm so excited. Is this one of those? Yeah, this is. I have to scroll, keep scrolling to read. Okay. It's clear that Scorsese takes his cinema seriously, and while he appears to have given comic book movies a chance, they simply do not measure up to a standard of cinema and the effect and it should have on its audiences. It will perhaps be easy for some to dismiss Scorsese's opinions as those from somebody who tastes only venture as far as art house films. I don't think that's true. But this simply isn't the case, nor has it ever been when it comes to the filmmaker's eclectic love for cinema. Of course, criticism of the MCU or comic book movies in general never seems to go over well, so Scorsese's comments are sure to arouse plenty of ire. That's understandable to a certain degree, but it's important to also understand that in terms of pure cinematic content, Scorsese may have a point. Marvel and comic book movies hold their own place as entertainment. There's no denying that they achieve huge feats in terms of on-screen and box office spectacles that they create. For some, this is everything that a movie should be, but for those who want something more from the films they watch, Scorsese's words may ring very true. And that's all I want to read on that one. All right, so maybe not such a popular opinion. I agree with the guy. Fatal J, what's up, man? If you'd like to get on this stream, let me know. I'll send you a link and I can get you in here if you want. I just decided to go live today and do some topics, but I did some Joker and now I'm doing the Martin Scorsese Diss and Marvel thing. So I happen to agree with him. I don't hate Marvel movies. I went to go see a lot of them and I enjoyed it, but I've gotten to a point where I've seen so many of them and that so many different movie makers have copied that style and tried to adapt that into their own universe for the sake of making more money that I'm tired of that formula. It's gotten to the point where, okay, you figure your average person goes and sees maybe 4 movies a year, 4 to 6 at the most, 6 if you're really a movie buff, because movies are expensive. So you don't go. I mean, I know some people personally that go every week, but most people see about 4 movies. So, if 4 of those movies that you happen to see are Marvel movies because they release so many of them in a year, you're going to get used to a standard format of movie. You're going to get used to easy to follow, hitting every demographic, hitting everything by a checkbox, very tame jokes, lots of action, lots of spectacle, lots of CG. You know, you're going to get used to. I know one thing that I've had to wean myself out of is sitting and watching all the credits in a movie theater. Like, you keep thinking there's going to be a stinger after it. And a lot of movies do put stingers on the end of the, because they've conditioned people to sit through the credits and wait for some little extra scene that might allude to something else that's coming in the future. So whether that's there or not remains to be seen, but you're still sitting there. Usually me, I'm in the back of a theater at the post credits doing the pee-pee dance because I got to go, waiting for them to do the post credit scene. You know, it's like, come on, hurry up and get it over with. But I'm also kind of with Martin Scorsese where I don't want all of my movies to be Marvel. I'm not an art house movie guy at all. I like the big budget spectacles. I used to look forward to summer movies, but I also like to see there's always something I used to look forward to every year. Is there'd always be like maybe a sci-fi movie or a horror movie that was just interesting to me, but not related to something else that I was already into. I wanted to find something new to get into, like movies like Starship Troopers, the original Hellboy. Those were franchises that I was not necessarily interested in. I never read Robert Heinlein's Starship Troopers, but I just thought, wow, that looks like a really cool movie that I would like to go see. And that was a summer thing. And I used to look forward to those when they came out. And I used to get really excited. And around spring, they'd announce all the movies coming out. I'm like, oh man, what am I going to go see this year? And then it just became a cavalcade of sequels and Marvel movies. And also, you have to understand that most comic books kind of get their inspiration from movies in general. I mean, Marvel has their own answer to every major movie character you can think of. Like you know, the Punisher is Marvel's version of Death Wish. The Guardians of the Galaxy is Marvel's version of Star Wars. I mean, tell me I'm wrong. At least that's how those things were explained to me. So I can see where he's coming from. It's like a copy of a copy. He probably feels about Marvel movies the same way that I feel about video game movies. It's like, if you like the game, play the game. Why do you have to see a movie version of the game that you just played? Just play through it if you want to know how the story ends. It's far more engaging than any crappy video game movie that they'll produce. And I can count on maybe one hand the movies that have ever been produced that were, you know, video game movies that ever mattered or were ever good. So I want to stop sharing that. That's just how I feel about it. So yeah, I agree with the guy. I do. And I think he has earned the right to say something about it. But of course, you know, there has to be rebuttal. And of course, I most of the people that I watch on YouTube are all talking about this topic too. So this is as far as I'm going to go with it. I'm not going to make a separate video on it because, you know, my opinion might not be all that popular, but that's just how I feel. So it wouldn't be anything if we didn't have to hear from Samuel L. Now, I used to love Samuel L., but I'm getting to the point now where I'm just getting kind of tired of hearing from him. Let me get this going here. And I got the wrong. What do I want to do here? This one. This one. No. I goofed it. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. So, of course, we have to hear Samuel L. Jackson's 2 cents. Samuel L. Jackson responds to Martin Scorsese's Marvel comments. Samuel L. Jackson has responded to Martin Scorsese's comments that Marvel films aren't real cinema. And of course, here we got, let's see if I can do my best Samuel L. expression. I mean, that's like saying Bugs Bunny ain't funny. Films are films. Everybody doesn't like his stuff either. Jackson told Variety's Angelique Jackson at the grand opening of Tyler Perry's new studio in Atlanta, Georgia. Everybody's got an opinion, so I mean, it's okay. ain't going to stop nobody from making movies. Jackson's comments were in response to an interview Scorsese gave Empire magazine, in which the Irishman filmmaker likened the superhero movies to theme parks. Well, they kind of are. I mean, I personally feel like Disney's long con is to get the movie theaters are a way to get people into the theme parks, especially lately with all the live action shit. So I need another drink here. Hold on. So we're moving up to the lemonade. I finished off all my Gatorade. I don't see them. I tried, but that's not bad cinema, Scorsese said. Honestly, or he said, I'm sorry, not I seen them. I tried, but that's not cinema. Honestly, the closest I can think of them, as well made as they are, with actors doing the best they can under the circumstances, is theme parks. It isn't the cinema of human beings trying to convey emotional, psychological experiences to another human being. That I also agree with, Martin Scorsese. Earlier on the carpet, Jackson praised Perry, the evening's man of the hour, calling him both a real one and a real anomaly. Everybody has dreams about things that they want to do and that they hope to accomplish. Tyler has been one of those visionaries that taps into visions and makes them happen, Jackson said. And that's amazing. Everybody doesn't have that acumen. The Marvel actor also shared his surprise that his Nick Fury alter ego hasn't made an appearance in the Black Panther futuristic city of Wakanda, although he hopes that changes soon. How did Nick Fury not end up in Wakanda, Jackson said. I'm sure he's been there at least to the club. All right, that sounds like the Samuel L. Jackson I know. So that wasn't really a jab at Martin Scorsese. That was more of a response. And I think that was probably what I would expect out of him. But yeah, if you're a Marvel fan or not, one thing I would like to say, though, is Marvel does not need your defense. Disney does not need your defense. They can defend themselves. They feel like they own the box office. They've got this big freaking ego, all right? They don't need your defense. They're doing just fine without you, okay? So please stop acting like every time somebody says something about God blessed Marvel or Disney, it's not like they're attacking one of your family members, all right? All they see you is crops of money with open wallets, all right? That's all you are, all right? The more you learn that that's your role in life when it comes to the direction of Marvel and whatnot, the better off you'll be. All right, so that's all I got to say about that one. Let's move on to our next topic. And I didn't actually advertise this one, but it is something that I wanted to talk about. I did a trailer reaction to Birds of Prey, and there's some things that are being said about it, but my opinions on this matter might not be super popular, but that's me. That's just how I roll. But I don't personally feel like Birds of Prey is a movie that's insidious with its marketing. Is it woke? It might be. It could be. It does seem like it has its own feminist agenda, but also it's not advertising that it doesn't have a feminist agenda. It's not a bait and switch. It's not them taking a platform and replacing it with something else just to preach to you. I think that it's a feminist movie made for feminists, and if that's the case, then I'm fine with that. Maybe Warner Brothers is trying to make films for all of its audience, like separate films. Maybe they're trying to do the right thing, which is I don't think is a bad idea. I don't want to come off like I'm a DC fanboy. God knows I hate Batman versus Superman, Justice League. I haven't even seen Aquaman yet, or Captain Shazam. Is that what he's called? I haven't seen Shazam either. All right, I've seen Wonder Woman. I loved that, but that's about as far into the when it comes to the DC stuff. I'm all about the Nolan movies. That's what I like. All right, so but what I do want to get into, I already did my trailer reaction. It looked like it was maybe a fun movie. It looked like Margot Robbie was having a good time, and that's fine. But we're going to go into Bounding into Comics, which is a website that we like to talk about here within the Fandom Menace. And it's about Ewan McGregor. And before I get into this, I need another swig of lemonade here. Delicious. Ewan McGregor, Birds of Prey, is a, quote, a feminist film with a real look of misogyny. Ewan McGregor plays Black Mask in the upcoming Birds of Prey film, a female-led team. It has obvious feminist themes, and McGregor plays up those attributes in a new interview. Plays up those attributes. Why can I not talk today? Maybe it's because I've been rolling for about an hour nonstop. Ewan McGregor plays Black Mask in the upcoming Birds of Prey film, a female-led team-up. It has obvious feminist themes, and McGregor plays up those attributes in a new interview. Speaking with French site Premiere, he explained what attracted him to Birds of Prey and the role of Black Mask. McGregor started first. It was the idea of Birds as a feminist film that looks at misogyny. This is one of those topics I'm so tired of talking about, but I'm going to do it anyway. All right. What interested me with Birds of Prey is that it's a feminist film. It is very finely written, and there is a script with a real look on misogyny. He continues and expresses the belief that a light needs to be shed on societal misogyny and how men treat women, adding that needs to change. Oh boy. And I think we need that. We need to be more aware of how we behave with the opposite sex. We need to be taught to change. Sure. McGregor then says there is a line between brutal extreme misogyny, the kind employed by Black Mask as a crime lord on the underworld, and the subtle, everyday type misogyny that happens without thinking, as in the case of perceived mansplaining. Good Lord. Misogynists in movies are often extreme. They rape, they beat women, and it is legitimate to represent people like that because they exist and they are obviously the worst. But in the Birds of Prey dialogues, there is always a hint of everyday misogyny, and those things you say as a man do not even realize mansplaining it. All it's in the script in a very subtle way. I found that brilliant. Brilliant or not, message aside, it could be McGregor is sensitive to the issue because of difficulties befalling his family. His daughter Clara claims she lived with the scars of sexual assault and abusive relationship for years. Over the years, Black Mask has taken pleasure in torturing his ex-fiancée, Catwoman, and Stephanie Brown, spoiler, in Birds of Prey. He has plans for young Cassandra Cain and those who get in the way, Harley Quinn, Black Canary, Renee Montoya, and the Huntress. Black Mask, is played by McGregor, will be violent and possibly gay and pedophilic or caught up in a plot with undertones of the effect. We're not entirely sure. It's unclear what reshoots have been altered. Wow. Uncertain at first, we know one that isn't getting left out is trademark skull mask. Set photos indicate McGregor will cover his face with something. Birds of Prey releases on... What do you think of what McGregor had to say? I think... I miss before social media got started, and actors and actresses weren't always political, because I feel like a lot of journalists are just looking for reactionary type things to get out of people just for clicks. I'm not accusing Bounding into Comics of anything here. They're just reporting on a report. That's fine. I think it's a fine website. Am I defending Ewan McGregor? No. But I'm also noticing a trend that a lot of these actors are getting baited into conversations. It kind of reminds me of when Solo came out and they were interviewing Jonathan Kasdan, not the son of Lawrence Kasdan, who wrote the original Star Wars scripts. Jonathan Kasdan was asked, do you think Lando's a pansexual? And I think he said yes, because he felt like he was entrapped in a conversation. And I think ultimately that statement had a deep impact on box office sales, because it as that information got repeated and repeated and repeated, it's like when you play the telephone game, it came off to a lot of people's like, well, I don't want to see a political Star Wars movie. It wasn't The Last Jedi bad enough? I don't want to see another one. And they're going real political with this shit. I know that's how I felt. Even though I knew exactly what was happening, it came off like it was going deeply political. And there are a lot of heavy political undertones in that movie. So that supported a lot of what happened there. And that's why that movie tanked. That term "get woke, go broke." Well, The thing is with Birds of Prey, though, is that it does not seem like this is marketed towards people that would see a movie like Batman or Superman. It seems more like people that it's marketed towards people that latched on to Harley Quinn a couple of years ago, maybe cosplayed at her, saw some kind of, impressionable young girls that, aspire to be rebellious and, anti and all that sort of thing. And if that's the crowd that they're going for, then I don't see a problem there. I don't feel like Birds of Prey is marketed towards me. After reading this, I know it's not marketed towards me. I'm fine with it. I'm tired of these articles where, like they've been doing it with Brad Pitt lately too. And, I talked him up so much after seeing, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And then when Ad Astra come out, he's out there, the toxic masculinity. And I'm like, I don't want to hear this stuff. You guys are not politicians. You're actors. You're paid to go in to a movie, put on makeup, put on a costume, and give us a performance. That's all the fuck I want. I'm not interested in these people politics. We were talking about this the other night. Pete and I were talking. It's probably a good thing that you don't meet your heroes. And the reason being is once you start getting into people's politics, people that became famous before social media was a thing, you start hearing about their politics and you're like, well, I'm not interested in what you have to say. I guess I can't watch your movies anymore. And I guess I can't do this and that. And it sours you. And then you want to go take all their stuff and sell it because every time you watch that person in a movie, you just get this bad taste in your mouth because it's like you're watching this person that angers you. I'm not going to let this do that to me. These are actors. I don't give two shits what goes on in Ewan McGregor's life or where his political allegiance lie. I'm also not going to go see Birds of Prey. That's not a movie that was made for me, and I don't feel like I have any business being there. And I do applaud Warner Brothers for making it very well known that this is not a movie that's made for what I'm looking for in a movie. They're letting you know this is a feminist movie and it's made for feminists, and that's fine. If a product, all I ask for is that the product is marketed towards the right demographic. Don't say, hey, Star Wars fans, come see this movie, member berries, and then get me in the theater and start preaching to me about anti-war or mansplaining or, the patriarchy and all that kind of stuff in my Star Wars movie. Don't do that. That makes me angry. I didn't come there to be lectured. I came there to be entertained. I came there to escape into a universe far, far away, a galaxy far, far away. I wanted escapism. I wanted to be entertained. I wanted to know where you're going to go with the characters that you set. I'm going on a whole Star Wars tangent here. I can't help it. I get so passionate about that. But yeah, don't do that. Don't lecture me. I didn't come to be lectured. At my age, I don't need to be lectured. If these are the beliefs that you follow and this is what carries you through life, fine. But I don't need you to lecture me any more than you need me to mansplain things to you, or whatever it is you're accusing me of these days, whatever the flavor of the week is, right? So that's all I got to say about that. What do you guys have to say about that? I have no comments regarding the matter. Anyways, for those of you that are still watching, let's get on to the good news for a change. Somewhat good news. Probably not as good as I would like it to be, but we'll go with it anyway. It's better than nothing. Okay. Share. So first of all, I wanted to make a video about this the other day, and I might still make a separate video about this because I have a lot of Alita fans on my channel. Let's get that up there. People are probably waiting for the... Okay, so Alita Battle Angel... Alita Battle Angel 2 cast plot. Rosa Salazar, director Robert Rodriguez address sequel possibilities. Now, this is not saying that this is actually going to happen. Pardon me. I got to dry out pretty quickly. Addresses sequel possibilities. The making of Alita Battle Angel 2 is yet to be announced, but there are still pieces of good news regarding the possibilities of having a sequel. Fans should not lose hope yet, as both lead star Rosa Salazar and director Robert Rodriguez have shown interest in working on a second movie installment. Alita Battle Angel 2 cast Rosa Salazar and Robert Rodriguez want to reprise their roles. The movie's success can be attributed to Salazar's performance of giving life to Alita, Rodriguez's leadership over the production, and James Cameron's work on his screenplay, along with Altered Carbon showrunner Leida Caligas. Altered Carbon, I love that show, man. If you guys haven't seen that, you really need to watch that. That show is fucking awesome. And for Alita Battle Angel 2 to work, these names are some of the key persons who should return to its productions. On a good note, both Salazar and Rodriguez have expressed their eagerness to work on Alita Battle Angel 2. In an interview with Nerd Reactor, the From Dusk Till Dawn director said he had fun working on the first movie. Rodriguez added he is looking forward to having much better visual effects if a sequel is ordered, because the technology would be more advanced by that time. Wow. And the effects were really good already. I can't imagine them being better. Well, maybe I can. Wow. Just the thought of that blows my mind. The director also noted that there are still many manga source materials out there that could be used for Alita Battle Angel 2 plot. The movie is a live-action adaptation of Japanese cyberpunk dystopian manga Gundam that ran from 1990 to 1995 with 9 volumes. Salazar was also equally passionate when asked about the possibility of reprising a role in Alita Battle Angel 2, and told film/film, I would play Alita till my last breath. She also encouraged fans to support the movie's official home media copies to boost the possibilities of the sequel getting ordered. However, she confirmed that they also have not yet heard from the 20th Century Fox if the movie would be having a second installment. Alita Battle Angel 2, is the sequel happening? While it's great to know that Salazar and Rodriguez are both on board working together for a sequel, the final decision boils down to the 20th Century Fox, and the production company merged with Disney shortly after Alita Battle Angel premiered worldwide. The major reorganization could influence and also delay the verdict on making of Alita Battle Angel 2. So I don't want these people to lose sight of I just wish these things were in place right now. Because I mean, have you ever seen people more eager to bring you more fantastic entertainment? You know, wow. I don't even, wow. Anyways, I'm hoping this happens, but I like the fact that I read that they're actually wanting to one up the digital effects that they already had and make it even more intense. I mean, you know, motion capture has come a long way. I know one really amazing example of it was probably War of the Planet of the Apes, the last in the revised Planet of the Apes trilogy. You had apes that were emoting, and that was all motion capture work. And at a point in that movie, you forget that you're watching CG people. I mean, you're watching animals that don't normally talk, and it's breathtaking. I'm not talking about one of these, you know, live action Disney remakes. I'm talking about a movie with actual heavy emotion and plot development, and then the motion capture work in War of the Planet of the Apes is a sight to behold. I mean, really, it's a shame that movie didn't do better. I think a lot of that had to do with the release date, but when I went to go see it, I was just absolutely blown away. And of course, the motion capture in Alita really blew my mind too. I mean, I was not expecting it to be as good as it was. I was generally entertained by that movie, and of course I want to see more from that universe. I'm very on board with it. And before I move on to the next Alita topic, and the final topic of the stream, I only have 2 payments left on my Hot Toys Alita action figure, and I have a spot for it. And after cleaning out my dad's garage, I made a rule that I will not be buying any more objects unless it's big, you know, big enough to fit in the palm of my hand, or it's digital, something I can eat or something I can wear. But Alita is somebody that, or the Alita action figure is something that I bought before I did that, and I have a spot like right over behind me where it's going to go. I will be doing an unboxing video for that when it comes, and I promise I won't put any fake trailers in there this time. I did that to try to be funny, and a lot of people just didn't think that was very funny. So that, fair enough. My humor is hit or miss sometimes, so apologize for that. But anyways, let's move on to the next Alita piece of news. And then we'll wrap this up, okay? And that is that us Alita fans, hashtag Alita Army, all right, are still fighting. We're still petitioning for that sequel to be made. It's not over yet. We're not out of the water, all right? You just saw, Alita Army in my comment section. Very big supporter of my channel, and I appreciate the hell out of it because I'm a big supporter of Alita as well. I discovered it. People helped me see, and I'm better for it, But let's get on to this article, also from Cineblend. This was posted a lot of other sites as well, but I do like Cineblend's version of it. Easier to read. Alita Battle Angel fans are still petitioning for a sequel. Since Alita Battle Angels hit theater earlier this year, fans have been hoping for a sequel. The Robert Rodriguez-directed, James Cameron-produced sci-fi action film has a passionate and devoted fan base, all desperately hoping that we haven't seen the last of Rosa Salazar's Battle Angel on the big screen. Now, nearly 8 months since its release, Alita Battle Angel fans are still petitioning for a sequel. Over on change.org, a petition championing on Alita Battle Angel Part 2 is still racking up signatures along after the film has exited theaters. As of now, the petition has over 64,000 signatures on its way to a goal of 75,000. I believe I've already signed that petition. The petition started by Philip Grube was created when Alita was in its second week. Yeah, I did sign that one in. Okay. Second theaters with express goal of demonstrating to the powers that be like James Cameron and Robert Rodriguez that there were enough fan interest and desire to make a sequel to films. Petitions like these don't do much as far as affecting change in a direct way, but what they can do is symbolize public interest in a particular case. This is a way for Alita fans to demonstrate that they want to see Alita 2, with the idea being that people and corporate entities with the power to greenlight and sequel this petition can get the message that another movie is a viable proposition. The fact that this petition is still getting new signature shows with that desire on a legal sequel has not been subsided. Even at the early stage of this petition's creation, a sequel wasn't a foregone conclusion, and in the petition's description, the author noted that Alita Battle Angel was looking more like it might break even, and ultimately the box office may be the biggest impediment to an Alita sequel. Alita Sequel Angel had a budget of $170 million and performed better than expected in some ways, like its domestic opening weekend, but ultimately it topped out at $85.7 million domestic and $404.8 worldwide. Although there isn't a definitive number, the belief was that Alita needed $500 million or more at the box office to break even, and it didn't reach. It wasn't an outright failure, though, and that's why fans are holding out and hope that a sequel can still happen. The film did hit home video until July, and the Alita Army, hashtag Alita Army, is still hoping that strong Blu-ray sales can incentivize the studio to give Alita another go. That studio would seemingly be Disney, as Alita Battle Angel was a 20th Century Fox film. That studio is now under the umbrella of Walt Disney Company, and that's unfortunate, man. Fucking Disney. Oh. Because of the merger, all that is still being sorted out of that front. Fox projects like Mouse Guard have already been canned. Rosa Salazar isn't surprised that Alita 2 hasn't been greenlighted yet. One of the hopes has been that if the Avatar sequels are huge hits for Disney and the Mouse House will throw James Cameron a bone and allow Alita, which was a passion project for Cameron, to move forward. Whether that will happen is anyone's guess. James Cameron has a whole Alita trilogy mapped out. We know that Rosa Salazar and director Robert Rodriguez would both love to return for a sequel. There is a lot of good reasons that Alita Battle Angel deserves a sequel, so it would be a shame for a bubble film like this did well and perhaps not well enough to not get a chance to grow its audience after people discover it on TV and home video. I imagine Alita, now established on the big screen and had a dedicated fan base, a sequel could find general worldwide success next time around, perhaps with a better release date. I'd also throw out there, how about a better soundtrack? Sorry. I just think that soundtrack should be a little bit more digital, a little more beat heavy. If Disney isn't interested, maybe James Cameron could take Alita 2 elsewhere. For now, Alita fans will just have to hope that no news is good news. Alita Battle Angel is now on digital Blu-ray 4K Ultra, and you can see Rosa Salazar in Amazon Prime's trippy series Undone. I still need to watch that. Check out our 2019 release. Blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, what do you guys think about this? No news is good news, I suppose. I don't know. I I don't know what the final sales on the Blu-rays are just yet. Maybe I need to hunt that down and do another video on that. But I'm hoping that that's enough. And even if they would put Alita in like a serialized format, like say on a streaming service, as long as they put the same amount of effort into that they did the movie, I would probably sign up for that service just to get that. You know what I mean? Just to see it continue. You know, there's so much that you can draw from there. I mean, it's a huge that's not what I want to do. I want to do that one. It's a huge franchise, and there's a lot that can be done there, and I want to see it continue. You know, I can read the books if I want to, but I'm a movie guy. I'm not really a comic book guy. I want to see this. I want to see this get made. You know, it just needs to happen. But I don't know. It just seems like Disney likes to make their own money, and they like to follow trends. And I think they're going to look at that as a risky adventure and probably not go through with it. And I am afraid. I don't like to be pessimistic. I like to be realistic. But a lot of people have a tendency to not see the difference between the two, which makes a lot of my opinions not all that popular sometimes. But anyways, I've gone on long enough, and I have to pee like a racehorse. So. What did you think of my first show by myself? Did I do a good job? Is this something you'd like to see more from in this channel? Do you think I do better with a co-host? Would that make you a little bit more interested? Leave a comment down below. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you check out my website at www.raidersoftheLostFlicks, all one word.com. My Twitter handle is in right here, all right, right below my name, of the Lost Flicks. All right, if you want to get a message to me or contact me or follow me at of the Lost Flicks. Also, I'm going to share real quick. I want to do my my Facebook group plug because I'm trying to grow that as well. And I'm at a point now where I can't add any more people. So let me get to that, share that screen so that you can join. One of these days, I'm going to learn how to multitask. You would think after managing a GameStop as long as I did that I'd be able to, but yeah. All right. So this is my Facebook group. All right. Make sure you join that. All right. A lot of the articles that I covered came from here. Okay. So what do you guys think of this format? Do you not like it? Would you rather I chop these into individual videos? I just did this because I got so behind this week that I would have literally spent the entire day. I could have spent the entire day doing videos and uploading, and they never would have gotten out on time. Some of this news would have been dead by the time I would have gotten done, because I have a tendency to get a little carried away with the editing sometimes, and I want to put a lot of jokes in there and little movie clips, and then it's really easy to go overboard with that stuff quick. So, yeah, what do you guys think? Leave me a comment down below. I will definitely try to put more content out this week, do a better job than I did last week. I apologize for that. Hopefully I don't have quite as many interruptions as I did, but you know, sometimes the, what can I say, man, the family's got to come first, you know? So anyways, that's about all I got for this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. You guys have yourselves a groovy day, and this is the Groovinator signing out. Peace.